Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to figuring out, well, the really complex world of football transfers. And right now, August 2025, you can just feel it, can't you? That buzz, the anticipation, maybe a bit of drama in the summer transfer window. Clubs are absolutely scrambling, reshaping squads, chasing talent, maybe offloading players, all before that deadline hits. Today, we're going deep. We're looking at the latest, most crucial updates from this summer 2025 market. We're talking about those deals that aren't just noise, they're the strategic moves, the ones that will really define the next season.
Exactly. And our main source for this deep dive is the Transfer DealSheet. This is the 10th edition for summer 2025. It's packed with info from the Athletics UK team and features heavily the insights of David Ornstein, who, well, everyone knows is incredibly well connected. This deal sheet gives us those exclusive, verified updates from the top clubs across Europe. And crucially, the window is still very much open until September 1st. So everything's still moving. It's like a giant puzzle being put together live.
Right. So our mission today is pretty clear. We want to pull out the most important nuggets from this deal sheet. We'll focus on the striker market, which sounds pretty wild right now, midfield moves, and other key things happening in the Premier League and beyond. We're trying to beyond just the what happened and really understand the why. What does it all mean? Okay, let's unpack this. So let's kick things off with that striker market. David Ornstein calls it incredibly volatile. We have seen some moves happen, right? Liam Delap, Victor Gyökeres, they're sorted. But then you've got big names like Alexander Isak and Benjamin Sesko. Their futures still totally up in the air. And what really jumps out from the deal sheet is, well, there just isn't much genuine top-tier depth available, which means if clubs miss their main target, they've got to find someone else and find them fast.
Yeah, that lack of depth is key. And what's fascinating here is the intense competition and honestly, the huge valuations for young players, often before they've even fully proven themselves. Take Benjamin Sesko at RB Leipzig. He's 22. Newcastle have apparently upped their offer significantly. We're talking EUR 80 million plus now. That's a real statement. And it puts them ahead of Manchester United, at least for the moment. And this is the important bit. RB Leipzig haven't said yes yet. So this isn't just about the fee. It really underlines the risk for these clubs. If you miss out on Sesko in this kind of market, wow, your whole season's plan could be in trouble. They're basically making massive bets on potential, trying to grab a scarce resource.
It absolutely is a high-stakes gamble. Okay, another name really prominent in this striker discussion is Nicholas Jackson at Chelsea. He's 24. What the deal sheet suggests is Chelsea aren't actively trying to sell him, but with new forwards coming in, his starting spot is looking, well, uncertain. And that uncertainty is definitely stirring up interest from other Premier League clubs and clubs in Europe too. Right. And here's where it gets really interesting. Looking at Jackson's specific strengths according to the deal sheet data, get this. He led the entire Premier League in counter-attacking ball carries last season. So he's not just a finisher. He's driving the attack, turning defense into attack with these powerful runs. And apparently he made 60 sprints behind the defense last season. 60. That's the most in the league. That's not just speed, as it shows incredible work rate, constantly trying to stretch the play, make space. And crucially, he delivers goals. Double-digit league goals in both seasons he's been at Chelsea. Pretty consistent.
Exactly. So you put all that together, the directness, that raw pace, the proven goal record, and you can see why he's so appealing. I mean, for any team, needing a dynamic forward who can, really disrupt defenses, especially on the break, Jackson's a fantastic option. It also suggests Chelsea, well, they probably would be open to a deal if a good offer lands, especially with their other signings. Things could move quickly with him, I suspect. We should probably keep an eye on that one.
Definitely. And look, it's not just about who Chelsea might be bringing in. Their strategy for selling players, for the outgoings, that's just as defining this summer. The activity there has been, well, pretty significant.
Oh, incredibly busy. The deal sheet points out several key moves happening or about to happen. For instance, Leslie Ugochukwu, the midfielder, only 21. Burnley have agreed a deal. He's set for a medical 5-year contract, apparently. Then there's Carney Chukwuemeka. Borussia Dortmund are keen on a permanent deal. And Chelsea, they're saying no more loans for him. And Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, Everton are talking about GBP 25 million. Chelsea seem to want closer to GBP 30 million, but again, only a permanent sale. No loans.
Okay, so let's connect the dots here. What does this huge volume of sales actually mean for Chelsea? The deal sheet says they're already getting close to GBP 200 million in sales.
Yeah.
200 million. And they're projecting maybe another GBP 100 million to GBP 150 million before September 1st. That's a massive clear out, financially speaking.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, Chelsea's really aggressive selling isn't just about bringing in cash. It has huge implications for how they build their squad moving forward and, crucially, for financial fair play. FFP. For listeners, uh, SFP rules essentially limit how much clubs can spend compared to what they earn. It's meant to stop unsustainable spending, right? So by selling players like this, Chelsea create, well, massive flexibility. They can potentially spend more on new players later without breaking those FFP limits. It's strategic, shedding players maybe not in the long-term plan and creating financial headroom, a big overhaul.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. And this focus on financial management and long-term planning isn't just Chelsea, is it? The deal sheet shows other interesting moves. Manchester City, for example, Ruben Diaz, he's been so key for them defensively since, what, 2020? They've apparently reached an agreement in principle to extend his contract past 2027. That's huge for City, locking down a core player like that. Then you've got Fabio Vieira at Arsenal. Stuttgart are in talks for a permanent deal for the attacking midfielder. Arsenal will want a decent price, of course, after paying around $40 million for him back in 2022. And one more, Neto, the Bournemouth keeper. He's off to Botafogo on a free. Smart move for Bournemouth, saves significant wages, signs till 2027, possibly longer.
Absolutely. And all these individual moves, whether it's a massive extension like Diaz or these transfers like Vieira and Neto, they really do show the different things clubs are juggling.
Yeah.
Securing key assets long-term, cleverly managing the wage bill, recouping funds where possible. It's all part of the same complex strategy for each club. Every move impacts the squad balance, the finances, and ultimately their competitiveness. It's fascinating to watch.
So yeah, we've covered a fair bit in this deep dive. That really volatile striker market, the specific situations with Sesko and Jackson, and of course Chelsea's huge outgoing transfer activity. It's quite something. And just a reminder, the window stays open until September 1st. Still time for more twists.
Definitely. And looking ahead, these deals, these strategies, particularly Chelsea's big sell-off, it really raises important questions, doesn't it? How will this impact team makeups, league competitiveness? I mean, Chelsea clearing the decks like this could allow them a major late signing, which would ripple through the league. And that striker scarcity we talked about. Clubs that get one gain a massive edge. Those that don't could really struggle. It shows transfers are as much about strategy as money.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe here's a final thought for you to mull over as we head towards that deadline. Given the lack of depth in certain positions, like striker, and all this money changing hands being spent and recouped, what does this next week and a half really mean? We're bound to see some frantic scrambling, aren't we? Clubs desperate for last-minute fixes. Could we see some genuinely surprising, out-of-the-blue deals emerge as the pressure really ramps up? It feels like a truly make-or-break period for a lot of clubs before September 1st hits.